I never use valet parking when I go to casinos on the road. I don't use valet parking because I've always got my stuff in the trunk, my clothes and everything else. I have no place to put it, especially when I'm going from one hotel to another, but I'm going to casinos in between. So sometimes I like to use valet parking, especially when it's raining. So what I've done, because on these late model cars, you can't lock the trunk. There's no way to lock the trunk. So when you hand over your keys or your key fob to the valet attendant, with the key they have access to the trunk of the car. So that's why I don't use valet parking on the road. So what I'm trying to do is set up an alarm in the trunk of the car in case the valet driver parks the car and goes to open my trunk to see what they can get out of it. And let me tell you, I've lost a lot of stuff out of valet parking, especially in the console and in the glove box. But say they open the trunk and they want to go through your luggage in the trunk. Well, what I've done is I've taken one of these window door alarms, which I got for like $10 for 2 of them at Walmart, and I've hooked it up in the trunk of the car so that when the trunk lid pops open, this alarm will sound off. Now, just because the alarm sounds off doesn't mean they're still not going to steal your stuff. But the best I can hope for is once they hear that alarm going off, they're going to shut the trunk back up and forget about stealing anything out of it. This is what it sounds like. This is what it sounds like when the trunk opens. Pretty loud, hopefully loud enough to just scare them off and just close the trunk back up. When these two parts separate, it's like a magnet, that's when the alarm goes off. So that's how it works. Now I've got one part of the magnet stuck up here with double stick tape on a string tied to the top of the trunk lid. The other part, which is the alarm, I've got down here with double stick tape, and I can get to the switch on the side. So now what happens, by the way, I want to point out that this unit is white, and I took a black marking pen and just made it black because I wanted to match the carpeting in the trunk, so that when the valet attendant is looking for the sound, it just makes it a little harder for them to find this unit and rip it out of there. So now I've got it hanging down here. I close the trunk up partially and put the magnet right next to the alarm unit and then switch it on. Okay, now I close the trunk, and when the trunk's open, now to check if anything's missing in my trunk after I use valet parking, I'm going to put down my $80,000 Piaget Commander watch, and if that's gone, when I get back to the car, when I get my car back, I know the valet parking took it. Well, I'm just kidding you. It's not an $80,000 watch. It's a $70,000 watch. Anyways, that's my setup. If we're trying to use valet parking, using an alarm when my trunk is full of my clothes and other stuff when traveling.